Welcome to Power Rankings presented by Energizer.
Still going.
Matt Money Smith is looking a little different today. I am Rachel Bonetta filling in for our guy. This is DanHanzus. What's up, Dan?
I didn't actually notice until just now.
We look very similar.
No, Money a little under the weather, but he will be back soon, and we miss you, buddy. But also, this is an opportunity for Rachel Bonetta in a big Mike White type spot. So I like this.
Stepping up into the zone. Hope I don't fail. Hope I do have a Mike White situation.
Stay positive.
All right, let's get into these Power Rankings shakeups at the top of the Power Rankings. Packers moving 5 spots. You're sold.
Listen, it took a while for me to truly be sold about the Packers. Okay. Because for a while I said there's these NFC teams ahead of them, and I wasn't sure if Green Bay, even though they had won 6 in a row, were in that company. And then they go to Arizona in prime time without their DC, without their 2 top wide receivers, including Devontae Adams, and they put it on the Cardinals, who were the previous number 1. So that is, to me, I'm a little late to the game, you could say, but now I see them as a true Super Bowl contender and a team not to mess with. By the way, I don't know if you saw the Aaron Andrews post-game interview with Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers was glowing, and this general idea of, like, he hates it in Green Bay and he wants out, you know, anything could happen. They could get bounced out in the first round of the playoffs. But there's also a reality where he has a special team here, and that's why he was so on fire. He knows he has something special here, and they make a deep playoff run or maybe even win the whole damn thing, and he's not going anywhere. I think he loves the idea of playing for Green Bay, all those fans invading road stadiums, the history of it all, the fact that the team's good. Rodgers is in a good place right now.
I love this. I love Aaron Rodgers. I feel like he steps up in these big moments where everybody counts him out.
Yes.
I was on the Cardinals. Were you on the Cardinals?
I was.
You were. Everyone was on the Cardinals.
Time,
He steps up in these big moments, and that's what I love. I want to talk about the John Wick costume just for 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Was this maybe a message? You know, John Wick famously has his dog killed, and then he goes after everybody that he hates.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers, he was wronged once upon a time.
I never really looked at it that way, but Rodgers is such a calculated guy that I'm kind of with you that there was
I think that this was a message.
It's a revenge. His whole life is about revenge, it seems, Aaron Rodgers. It seems like exhausting, quite frankly, ever since his draft day.
Chill out,
all he wants is revenge.
Happiness exists in that interview with Aaron Andrews, apparently. All right.
That's the only time he's ever been truly happy.
Life.
Speaking
in
of
his
Aaron
life.
Andrews.
Hey, I love EA. I'd be happy around her, too. All right, let's talk about the Cowboys being ranked number 2. Dak out. Cooper Rush in. I love the rushes. I want to be a part of that family.
Oh, how fun.
Why number 2 and not number 1?
I thought they did a really nice job on the telecast, like pointing out, like Cooper Rush's family always went to the games.
Yeah.
And they would just sit in the stands while the son was on the bench, and that was it. And then all of a sudden, he's like going nuts on the Vikings. And I thought, all credit to the entire Rush family, but especially Cooper, because he was the one throwing the football. But I thought what stood out here is, again, the Dallas defense is legit, and they put the clamps down on Kirk Cousins, who looks frustrated as hell all night, and Justin Jefferson, who was erased. And the offense, it's just the system is so strong that if you could have a quarterback who's prepared and can make the throws, then you're going to be okay, and that's exactly how this played out. Their offensive line is solid. Their wide receivers are great. Zeke makes big plays, including that huge first down conversion that set up the touchdown. And it's just an organization and a team that's in a very good place right now.
I'll agree. I think they showed a lot of mental strength as well because they were without Dak last year, and they did not look like they looked on Sunday. No. They were a pretty bad team last year without Dak, so I think that they showed us a lot this weekend. Okay, let's talk about the Cardinals at 3 and the Bucs at 5. Let's say these 2 teams play tomorrow. Who do you think wins in this game?
Well, let's see. The Cardinals are 3 and the Bucs are 5, so the Cardinals by 2
They told me that this was a setup. They told me to ask that question, and now I'm realizing it's a dumb question. Thank you, producers.
Not a dumb question.
My first day on the job.
Not a dumb question. Everyone's doing great behind the glass as well. I just want to say, Jen Koski shout out. I just want to say that the number 1 through 6, and I know there's some Rams fans that are unhappy with me. You have to understand that this is, in my time doing the power rankings, in terms of the top, the top 10, as tight as I ever can remember it, where you can make a case for the Rams, Bucks, Bills, Cardinals, Cowboys, and Packers at number 1, and nobody's going to say you have no idea what you're talking about. Well, people would say that.
They would.
But you would be able to make a case.
We've got the tweets to prove it later.
Yes. I can't wait for that. Always my favorite part of the show, Rachel. Welcome aboard. But in this case, like, yes, I think the Bucs I have down at 5, but do I think the Bucs are a team that can win the Super Bowl? Absolutely. Things are going to change week to week, and that's what's making this season so fun, because there's not some juggernaut that's just so far out ahead of everyone, or two teams. It's really tightly packed together, and it's going to make. I think we should watch the playoffs in January, is what I'm saying.
I think I'm going to tune in.
Let's not skip it this year.
I think I'm going to tune in, writing it down on the schedule. Can we just a second on Tom Brady?
Yeah.
If you remember, I think he needed a game like this. I think he needed a loss like this. If you remember last year, they had that insane blowout against the Saints. They lost 38-3.
Yeah.
They lost, 2 more games, had their bye. Then they went on to win 8 straight, including the Super Bowl. I think that Tom Brady is a really good revenge player. He's like, gets down on himself. You know, he gets angry.
He must
and then
be,
he comes and shows off what
he must be impossible to deal with this week, like at home and at the practice facility.
Giselle's miserable. Giselle is miserable.
They're in opposite wings of the mansion right now. I'll say this about the Saints and what they did, and we'll get to the Saints, but like Tom Brady, the one guy he seems to not be able to figure out is Dennis Allen and the defense coordinator of the Saints. There has been 7 interceptions by Tom Brady in his games against the Saints, 13 total in the 24 other Tampa Bay games that Brady has been the quarterback. So there's something there. It's kind of like in baseball. Rach, I know you're a huge fan of the national pastime.
Oh, yeah.
There's something with certain players don't see a pitcher well. It's something, it comes out of the pitcher's hand, and you just, even though you should be able to handle it, you can't. Is that Dennis Allen for Tom Brady? It's interesting. And if the Saints got the pucks again in the playoffs, they would not be intimidated.
Oh, okay. I like that. Tom Brady, look out. Who's he playing next? Washington? I'm praying for you already.
That's not a good situation.
All right, let's take a look at rankings 9 through 16. A lot of movement here. You got the Bengals down 3 spots. You got the Chargers down 3 spots.
Yeah, well, the Bengals. Listen,
you can stop right there. The Bengals.
Yeah, I'm watching that game, and I'm fully prepared as a Jets fan to just be like, okay, this is a bloodbath. This is going to be embarrassing. I'm going to watch the first quarter or two and then start focusing on other places on Sunday. And then I'm like, what's going on here? A game just broke out. And here's the thing, like, especially where we are now in our league, as Troy Aikman has trademarked.
Yeah.
Every week it feels like there's a new defense that gets talked up as a difference-making defense, and then there's a week that they get absolutely shown up. And that's what happened with the Bengals defense. All the conversations like Money and I have had on the show, I've had with the guys on the Around the NFL podcast, Cincinnati's defense is being overlooked because the offense has been so good. Well, they just gave up the most first downs. You know, the Jets had the most first downs in this game, 32, I believe, since 1988. They gave up to Mike White, a journeyman making his first career start, over 400 yards passing, the first Jets quarterback in 21 years since Vinny Testaverde to have 400-yard game.
Wow.
And I think it does tell you that Cincinnati's defense in a big spot cannot be trusted. Maybe it's a blip on the radar, but I think it is reason for concern, and it cost them a spot in the top 10.
Well, but hold on. They just beat the Ravens, which I think was a huge game for them. Do you think that maybe they had that game circled on the calendar? They got a little too excited
you're saying the old trap
about
game.
that game?
You could say, I think they have Cleveland up next, and you can say, they overlooked the Jets. And I believe that's a thing. That's a real thing. But at the same time, if you're really a big-time defense, you can't let that happen.
Of course.
And it just tells me maybe they get back on track this week, but maybe we saw a little.
Maybe they don't. And also maybe
they'll
they
be
don't.
okay.
Maybe they don't give out.
I still think the Bengals are a playoff team, but in terms of we were on kind of a joyride with them, they came down to earth here.
Okay. I like that as being a member of the AFC North. Can I call myself that? A member of the AFC
I mean, a member of the North feels strong.
I'm subscribing to the club.
Yeah, you're a fan of a team
Card
that plays
holder.
in that division. You do not have membership to the AFC North.
Well,
no.
That's to be determined.
All right.
Let's talk about the Titans here at number 9. They lose Derrick Henry. I am very upset about this. Can they sustain a top 10 position?
I don't know.
Yeah,
but
neither do I.
Here's the thing. I kept them at number 9 because I kind of made the decision in how I put together the power rankings, and we'll get to the Bucs in a bit, and it's the same thing with them. I'm not going to kill them and give up on them and quit on them until we see that they're unable to sustain solid play without a key player of the team. Derrick Henry is obviously one of one. He's done so much for the Titans and their offense. And if you would have told me back in January, yes, by November of the following season, you won't have your offensive architect, Arthur Smith, and Derrick Henry is going to be in a hospital with foot surgery, I'd say you have no chance. But I'll say this. People always count out the Titans, it seems. I'm one of them. I get a lot of heat from Tennessee fans. They're well coached. They still have their quarterback in Ryan Tannehill. They still have two big-time wide receivers in A.J. Brown and maybe Julio Jones if he ever gets healthy. I'm not ready to say this is a team that's about to crater, but if you talk about if the goal is going to the Super Bowl, you need Derrick Henry to somehow come back by the postseason and then be the same guy, and that's asking a lot.
Yeah, or maybe find a new goal.
All right. I mean, listen, I'm with you. I get it. I'm trying to stay positive.
I want to stay positive, too. Derrick Henry is responsible for 49 of the Titans' first downs. That's gotta be.
I know.
It's painful to lose this guy, but it's also, if you're in the locker room, that's got to take a hit to your confidence as well.
It has to.
What are we going to do?
It's a good call because he's the guy. He's the big dog. That's what they call him. So you take him out of the picture. I know Adrian Peterson is in the building now, and that's a great move in theory, but I don't know if he's going to be a guy that's going to move the sticks the way Derrick Henry did unless he gets a time machine. But, yeah, I still think the Titans are not a team to dismiss because they've been playing so well and they're playing in a bad division, but their Super Bowl hits. It's pretty tough to imagine them making a big run now.
All right. This got sad. Let's move on to another sad team. I don't know. This week, you decide. Chargers falling to number 12 after their loss to the Patriots. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm starting to have some concerns about the Chargers, and that wasn't supposed to be the situation. I mean, the Chargers were a team everybody was flying high on as we got into October. And what happened with Justin Herbert now, 2 weeks in a row, sandwiched by a bye, he's just looked mortal and looked a little confused out there. They had a garbage time score against New England late in this game. Before that, he had 143 yards passing. And that is just the type of stuff that you've come to not expect. Remember earlier in the year, Rachel, it was like not only is Justin Herbert a savage in the pocket, as I was known to say, every time they had fourth down, he was your daddy too, I think?
He's not. No. Justin Herbert is not my daddy.
Okay, I don't know. You'll have to clarify that to me and the viewers. But every time there's a fourth down, Brandon Staley's like, I don't care, go, because our quarterback's amazing. There's just a different vibe around the team right now, and it makes you wonder if maybe we all got a little overamped up about LA, and maybe they're more middle-of-the-pack team.
I'm disappointed. I know that they really gave us a challenge, the Browns. But I feel bad for Chargers fans because I feel like, you show up to SoFi, it's the Rams' house. All they really need is like one fun, exciting season to start like really gaining all of these fans. And then if you're a fan, you show up, you don't know what Chargers team you're getting.
It's not over yet. And Matt Money Smith, the voice of the Chargers, I'm curious when he comes back next week, unless Rachel takes his job for good, Wally Pipp style.
No.
His thoughts on this. But there are positives to take out of the New England loss. Namely, the defense was really good. They shut down Mac Jones. They made him look like a rookie. So there is a chance that this is just a slump. But when you look at the Chargers in general on offense, they are way too topsy-turvy. There's big performances and bad ones, and you would think there'd be a little more consistency.
Yeah, I agree. All right, coming up on Power Rankings, it is never too early. A jump on your fantasy lineup for Week 9. We've got the top-ranked matchups to help you get a win. But first, my BFF, dare I say, Cynthia Freeland has got issues with Dan. Where does her math have the Chiefs ranked? And how much different is it than Hanzus?
Math. Hate it. Like Cynthia, though.
I failed 9th grade math, so I'm going to tune out for this one.
Thursday, Halloween. In the building, it got to be Halloween. All I need is y'all best. It's about to be a heavyweight match.
Sunday, fun day. Best day of the week. Wait on it.
Wait, hang on. How you go 2-8? Here we come to get you. Here we come to get you. You doing it? Touchdown! What's up? Holy cow! Hey, that's the way to block them up. When y'all talking about who the best in the league, come on now.
This man is the rookie of the year.
It's an absolute boxing match the entire game. Best in the world.
And there's only more to come.
Okay, it's time for Power Moves presented by Energizer. We welcome in my pal, my partner in crime, Cynthia Freeland. All right, Cynthia, we're going to break down some of these power rankings that you agree and that you don't agree with.
Wait a second. I feel like you're conspiring against me with the buddy-buddy open and like keeping me out of it.
We're friends.
Like me and Cynthia are friends too. We've had times together.
Okay, that's fine. I just thought we had a connection. It's fine.
Sorry, Cynthia. Little squabble right off
We'll
the
figure
bat
out. We'll figure out who's on top of the friendship power.
Who do you like more? Let's start
let us
there.
know
Power
right now.
rank us.
Let us know.
I'm sorry, what? I'm having audio issues.
Oh, interesting.
Well played.
Interesting timing.
All right, I'll shut
okay,
up.
hopefully you don't have audio issues in this next question. Are the Chiefs ranked too low at number 13? What do you think, Sin?
Okay, so I understand that they've had a rough start to the season, but I am still all aboard the Chiefs bandwagon when it comes to this, especially considering their trade moves that they're making. They're not punting on this season. You shouldn't either. And DanHanzus, when you look to see the number of teams that are in the top 10, it's like all NFC teams. And if you watch all of the AFC teams, many of them are considerably better. So when I look at this Chiefs team, yeah, maybe their record isn't so great, but Patrick Mahomes is still there last I checked. They've reinforced their pass rush. What do you think?
I mean, I'm not going to be one of those bozos on Twitter that say Patrick Mahomes is actually not good anymore. Patrick Mahomes is amazing.
Sure.
But there's something going on here, Cindy. I think it's undeniable. And I was with you for weeks. But now we're in November, and we're still having these sloppy moments for the offense. The turnovers. He got away with some turnovers in this game, and viewers of this show might know, Rachel, when I don't know what to do with a team, when they just confuse me, when they flummox me, I just stick them at 13 and take a walk. And that's where I am with the Chiefs. So maybe, Cynthia, you have a point, but at the same time, they've given you a lot of reason to doubt.
Oh, can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
He's a daddy this year. You know. That comes with a lot of being tired and stuff, I would assume.
Oh.
Yeah, now you're
the old
getting
dad
the old
excuse.
dad excuse.
It doesn't work at my job either, though. Like, nobody cares. You just grind through it. Let's go, Pat.
All right. Are the Saints ranked too high at number 8? Cynthia, what do you think?
Again, this comes back to the NFC and AFC splits. I think the Saints are a really good team. However, it is tough when you lose quarterbacks. 1, 2, you didn't have your Jameis Winston got hurt, right? And then you didn't have your Taysom Hill, which I kind of struggled to call him a quarterback. He's such a utility player. And then now you're on Trevor Siemian, and that seems a little dicey. Yes, their defense is good, but there's no way that they should be the 6th NFC team in the top 10. The AFC top to bottom is just a better conference. I'm sorry. It's just true. Watch all of the games, DanHanzus. I think number 8.
Dare you, Cynthia? Your insinuation that I'm not watching the games. Listen, I think the NFC is very top-heavy, but I do think that it's a better conference when you talk about who's going to win the Super Bowl. And the Saints, I don't think they're necessarily a Super Bowl team after what's happened now with their quarterback situation. But at the same time, I've decided to keep them and reward them for their awesome performance against the champions because, listen,
I like it.
They are well coached. They have a great defense. They have a great home field advantage. And if Trevor Siemian can't do the thing, if Taysom Hill can't do the thing, then I will drop them. But I'm going to wait and see out of respect, Rach.
Out of respect. I miss Jameis already. All right, Cynthia, who are you liking this week in fantasy? What are you going with?
Well, I'm feeling a little pressure here because last week I hit like the double here because I gave DanHanzus both a good running back and a running back on his team, Michael Carter. So I'm feeling a little extra pressure here. So I did a little extra digging, and I started with Brandon Ayuk against the Cardinals. He has an 87% snap rate, so that's a nice high rate and 7 targets last game. Then A.J. Dillon against the Chiefs. This is just a good matchup, and this guy averaged almost 5 yards per carry last week against the Cardinals. Gabriel Davis against the Jaguars. You saw that Bills offense is just really starting to click, especially in the second half of the game. Pat Freiermuth, of course, against the Bears, 7 or more targets in the past 2 games. And then number 1, Devontae Parker against the Texans. Maybe we see something fun with the Dolphins and Texans. So I wanted to add that one there, especially because he is a true X receiver. And if you get a true quarterback with a true X receiver, I think good things happen.
They typically do. And look at it this way, Cynthia. No pressure. I mean, you're playing with house money. It's like you sit at the blackjack table and you had a big hand run earlier in the day. Just stick the money in your pocket, those chips, and don't touch those. Anything that happens this week, you're still the winner. And I will say this, Brandon Ayuk is a great call because Kyle Shanahan, and we know Ayuk's been kind of a mess this year in fantasy, but Kyle Shanahan said after Sunday's game he had his best game as a blocker, as a punt returner, and as a receiver. And when head coaches say that stuff, especially with a player that's struggled or been unhappy in his role, they're usually going to reward him with some looks next week. I think he's going to get targets against Arizona.
All right, I like that. Can I give you some of my fantasy advice?
I would love it.
Doesn't matter what podcasts you subscribe to, what websites you read, please read ours. The number one piece of fantasy advice I would give to our viewers, somehow find Cynthia Freeland's cell phone number and save it in your phone so that you can text her at any time of the day, and she's a good friend. She will answer. One more question. Who is it? Him or me? You need to decide now.
What? What's that?
Can we figure out the audio issues? Can we figure?
That means me, obviously, because you asked the question.
Here's the answer. You ready? Of my longest tenured friends, Matt Money Smith's number 1. He's number 1 on my power. He's DanHanzus in terms of other analysts that I've worked with. There we go. And then Rachel, my favorite co-host.
There you go. I'll take that. I'll take that.
I'm not very thrilled about that. But I love you.
Cynthia, thank you. I will see you very soon. All right, let's take a look at number 17 to 24 here on the power rankings.
What do you think about this? I like the Niners making a move up the board here. I think they're in a good place now with Jimmy G and Trey Lance, of course, coming around the bend.
All right. Coming up, the Steelers moved up the list after ruining Halloween for me and every Browns fans, but is it time to panic in Cleveland?
Yes.
Can we answer that next? No! Thursday Night Football is in the Circle City as Week 9 kicks off with the Jets taking on the Colts. Coverage starts at 6 p.m. Eastern, followed by kickoff at 8 p.m. Eastern on NFL Network, Fox, and streaming on Prime Video. Okie dokie, let's take a look at these power rankings.
Circle
45.
City. Look at you.
32. All right, you got the Jets moving up 4
Yeah, we do.
spots, baby.
We move it. We move it. It's pretty dark. It's the bottom of the ocean here.
Yeah.
You need the big light to even see what's going on. But how about the Lions? They're not 32, even though they're winless. What does that say
Pretty
about them?
close.
Anyway, let's get away from this. This is too depressing.
Pretty close. All right, now David Carr and Steve Mariucci have looked at your list, Kansas, and have some feedback for you.
I didn't ask for it, but I'll take it.
Thank you, Rachel. Mooch, you and I have looked at this list, and we have some thoughts. What stood out to you?
Oh, we have some thoughts, all right. How about the Rams? 7-1 Rams, all right?
Yeah.
And they just say, we got to get better. How do they get better? You trade some more draft picks away from the future.
Who needs them?
And go get a Von Miller, right? 110 sacks he's got. And this is a great get because this team is built to win now.
Immediately.
And they've got to try to chase around in that division all these athletic quarterbacks, right? With Russell Wilson and Trey Lance eventually, and Kyler Murray, who's already beaten the Rams. So this team is saying, hey, we're going to get some speed on the field on defense, more speed, and see if we can beat all these teams. The other one I'm looking at is Tennessee. Feels so bad for King Henry, the diminisher, Rich calls him. You know what? He was having such a great season and career, and all of a sudden, let's hope he gets back.
Yes.
But Jeremy McNichols or Adrian Peterson, somebody's going to have to take down the load.
Step up.
And it's a shame. Hey, King Henry, get back, man. We need you in this league. But I think he's going to be healthy for the playoffs.
A fresh King Henry with his second shoe on will be dangerous in the playoffs.
2 shoes.
I agree. Also, the Bills. I think the Bills should be higher. The Bills are a very good football team. Sometimes really good football teams, they don't get bored, but they play other teams that it's like their Super Bowl. Like, we're going to come at these guys, and if they don't blow them out or they don't look super sharp, a lot of people say, oh, maybe they're not as good as we thought they are. The Bills are dynamic. They're good on defense. They're tough and physical. Their quarterback's tough. He can play with guys hanging off of him like an old Ben Roethlisberger. I like those guys. I also like the Patriots, Mooch. I like the Patriots a lot. I like Bill Belichick.
Coming back.
I like the fact that he can coach good defense. All the guys that make plays, you see like Jacoby Myers makes a play, gets up, hands the ball back to the they all know the situation. That stuff's going to count at the end of this thing. So while the Patriots are kind of just hanging in there right now and trying to scratch wins together, they're getting better, and they got a young quarterback that fell into a great situation. He's got some great playmakers around him. So I like these guys a lot. Look out for them. So we'll see what happens next week on the list, but don't forget to catch me and Mooch and Willie and MJ on Total Access weekdays. Rachel and DanHanzus, back to you guys.
All right, let me piece this one together, Rach. A little unorthodox broadcasting move, throwing to a conversation that you're in with a Carr brother. What was that all about?
I don't know. I don't know.
That was you, right?
No, it was not. I know we look very similar.
That,
I know I fooled
that's Steve
the
Mariucci.
world.
Look at you. Look at you. You're a master of disguise. Oh, that's good.
Well, the craziest thing is that I walked out on set on Sunday morning. I tried to hide for the majority of the morning, and I walked out on set, and Mooch goes, who are you supposed to be? And Eisen goes, you. Like, I could not believe that he was not buying in. He was a great sport.
If you look at everybody else on that day, by processes of elimination, it made sense that it was Mooch, but I enjoyed it.
Pretty good.
I thought that
it's amazing I have a voice today. Can I just say that vocal fry is something for real, for real.
you're a warrior.
Thank you. I agree. All right, speaking of Mooch, he thinks that the Rams should be higher. They're at 6.
This one killed me, and everybody thinks, oh, what a party it must be. You lived the rock star life of a power ranker, and it's like, no, it's not, all parties and girls and mansions and jet skis. It's not what you think.
Could you give me a name?
Listen, we'll get to that later. The Rams sitting at number 6 drove me nuts. Like, I even had to drop them because all these other teams ahead of them, I could not find a case to put them in the top 5, but that doesn't mean that I don't believe in the Rams. Like I said, 1 to 6 is so closely stacked that the Rams could have been 1 this week. I had to put them in some order. I apologize to Rams fans because I know you're upset at me. I love this team, and of course, I love Von Miller being added to the team. Now, if you're telling me, oh, they should be moved up to the top of the power rankings because Von Miller is on the team, well, let me see it first. let me see how this marriage works. Now, Von Miller is still a very good pass rusher. He's probably in the top 20% of pass rushers in terms of ability. He's just not Super Bowl 50 MVP Von Miller anymore. So sometimes you have to watch out when the name and the game don't quite match up. That said, you look at the front seven he's joining, a front seven that already led the NFL in sacks this year with 25, even though they hardly even blitz. They just get there with pressure. Von Miller joining that group, it could be like Matthew Stafford moving from Detroit to LA, where it unlocks greatness within. It's a great move.
Speaking of Matt Stafford, can we do like a power rankings of just top one happiest player in the NFL? It has got to be Matt Stafford right now.
You got to factor in Aaron Rodgers in his
Aaron Rodgers in his interview
Only
with
in that
EA.
interview.
Thank you. Matt Stafford's got to be at number 2. Watching the Lions team.
Yes.
Having a great performance with the Rams. All right, let's look at the current NFC playoff picture. Packers are in my Super Bowl pick, and they've been there for a minute.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah, like I said, like Cynthia was getting all fired up about the AFC being superior, but look at that top 4. Look at the top 5. Look at the top 6, even with Jameis Winston out. Yes, it's very muddled, that last playoff spot, but I think there are some big-time teams.
Oh, this one hurts. Current AFC playoff picture. We got the Titans, the Raiders, the Ravens, the Bills, Bengals in the wild card, Steelers in the wild card. Rude.
Where are the Browns, Rachel?
Hunt?
I thought this was the Super Bowl season. What happened?
In the Kareem hunt.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness.
What a mess.
Is right. Let's talk about the Bills. David says the Bills should be ranked higher. They're ranked at number 4. Like you said, 1 through 6 could all be number 1. Okay?
And if you want to put the Bills all the way up there, I don't know. I love the Bills. I love them on both sides of the ball. I don't know if there's anything they could have done against a really bad Dolphins team that would have said to me, okay, now I got to put them at the top of the power rankings. I just need to see them with a big win against a quality opponent. But they took care of business. But it should be stated, Rachel, I'm just going to continue the sentence with a series of buts.
Okay.
That it was 3-3 in the third quarter, and then they heated up and they scored 23 points in their final 4 possessions. So the Bills are in good position. They're 5-2. I love them. I think they're the best team in the AFC, and there's a little distance between them and who comes next.
Have you heard about the Manning cast curse? Because this is becoming a real thing. Josh Allen was on the Manning cast. Every quarterback that's gone on the Manning cast, their next game they lose.
Really?
True story.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that Manning cast. You know what else?
It's amazing, but I think the quarterbacks are going to start shying away from it and be like, nope, not me this week. Nope.
What I don't love so much is the Browns and where they are right now.
How dare you?
I listen.
How dare you set this up?
Is it time to panic? I'll ask you this as the resident Cleveland fan.
I don't panic. I don't even know what that word means. I don't know what the word panic means. No, not yet. I'm going to say not yet. If we lose to the Bengals, then now is the time to panic. Here's the thing. We have been dealt a pretty difficult card lately. Our, injury list, I've heard all of these CVS receipt jokes. It's long, and it has been long. We're slowly starting to get back on track. The Steelers are going to step up for this game. Okay? It's a calendar circle game. It's going to be a tough one.
Listen,
Baker is still recovering. But what I did love is this moment. Baker gets tackled, okay? Or maybe not this moment. Maybe it's coming up. Baker gets tackled in a moment in the game, and everybody just kind of holds their breath.
Right. I think
and it's like,
right
oh
here.
my God, it's right here, okay? And this is what I love. This is such a Browns moment. He gets back up and he's like, let's go! We're not done yet, baby. Don't panic.
But then they were done. And then
they were done, and then maybe some people panicked. But that's what I'm saying. Moving forward, we're going to start to get a little bit healthier. Okay, Jarvis said, oh, I'm healthy, I'm feeling good. He wasn't feeling great. Nick Chubb is back. He's probably going to be a little bit slower. He was on Sunday. It's just going to take some time, people.
Here's the thing with, and I don't want to put this all on Baker, and it's not all on Baker.
It's not.
But some of it's on Baker. They don't really have a downfield passing game anymore. I don't know if that's the injury to the left shoulder that's playing its role. And I love Baker as a personality. I love him as a competitor.
Love him as a leader.
I love him as a commercial star. But I don't know if he's the guy. I don't know if he's just like a middle-of-the-road dude.
Don't Case Keenum me.
Nobody wants to hear this. Browns fans, I think the thing with Browns fans is you had so many bad quarterbacks. And trust me, I am not dunking on you because I'm a Jets fan that struggled just as badly to find a quarterback. But because the quarterbacks were so bad before him, Baker, to you, is special. But I think maybe from the outside, people see Baker differently. And he's one of the reasons why the offense has been very disappointing this year. I'm sorry. We're new together.
Right,
we're working.
It's been
and now things are
disappointing.
weird.
Okay, well, we're going to talk about the Jets coming up soon, and I'll get you back.
Oh, you're going to get revenge.
Let's talk about the Steelers, whatever. Are they back on track to being a playoff team?
Oh, put some respect
Number
on the
14.
Steelers. Everybody wrote the Steelers off at 1-3, and everyone thought this would be the year of the Browns, and then it was, oh, look at the Bengals. It's the year of the Bengals, and the Ravens are always there, of course, in the AFC North, and we always kind of just say, this is the year the Steelers slide back, but they don't want to slide back. And they have the defense. Obviously, we saw what they did. They were ferocious against Cleveland. And Najee Harris and this offensive line are getting better every week. I think Harris has actually been good week to week. Now he's getting a little more blocking up front. And very importantly, Ben is making some throws. He's not the same guy anymore, but he makes throws in big spots.
Let's not forget, would they go 11-0 last year? And then they fell apart. So I'm going to wait for that. Okay.
All right.
Next on Power Rankings, we've heard about my team. Okay, now it's time to talk about Dan's. But absolutely not in the way you're probably expecting. Jets fans.
Why do I know how this is going to turn out?
On the other side of this time out.
Power
Rankings. Let's calm some people down, Dan. Have you ever meditated before?
I have not, and not until now on television.
It's actually quite difficult, and I can never figure out how to do it.
Really?
But let's try to calm some people down. What do you got today? Who are you calming down?
All right, I'm going to calm down. This is near and dear to my heart. I'm going to calm down Patriots haters, because I know you're starting to get nervous. I get it. Listen, I get it.
Wow.
I'm with you. They win, they destroy the Jets like the old days. Then they go to LA and they beat everybody's darling rising team, the Chargers. And you're starting to think to yourself, oh my God, are we going to have to watch the Patriots in the Super Bowl again? We're going to have to watch them making super annoying deep runs into the playoffs where they do smart things like protect the football and manage the clock wisely and create key turnovers at critical junctures. Like, that could happen, but maybe next year. This team is improving. You have at Carolina next week, home against Cleveland, at Atlanta. They are going to be in position to make the playoffs, but don't worry, Patriots haters, there will be no glory run. Not yet. Are you? Wake up. Rach, wake up.
Hey, whoa. Huh?
Was I too calm or was it that boring?
I'm sorry, that's like the best that I've felt about my Patriots hatred in a very long time.
What do you got?
You might want to plug your ears for this one.
Oh, no. Stop it.
Jets fans.
Oh, stop it.
Y'all need to calm down, okay? I have dedicated too many months of my life, every single NFL season, to making fun of y'all. And I feel like we're in a good thing here. I got lots of material, okay? There was a moment this morning, okay? It's my first time on the show. It's only my second time with Dan. I want to be his friend. It's like maybe I pushed the Cinderella story narrative. I did say Cinderella story in our meeting, and I was laughed out of the room. Nobody's buying in, okay? Not even Dan. This is too good of a thing that you and I have. Y'all are still bad, and that's what I'm gonna say.
It's so funny to me because I've always thought this, that one of the best things about being a football fan is like getting to make fun of the Jets. But you guys never realize what it's like if you're an actual Jets fan.
Miserable.
And how funny is it that we have one nice Sunday, the first in years since Ryan Fitzpatrick had that one good year that didn't even end with the playoffs, and you're like telling the Jets fans to calm down and not enjoy it. Like that's perfect.
There was part of me that wanted to say, let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy this.
This will impact our relationship.
I was gonna say calm down, Jets haters, but I enjoy hating the Jets too much.
Our relationship is compromised.
I enjoy it too much. Okay, apparently our next segment is, I think, just people making fun of you.
Yeah, like what? Like how is that on television?
This
like,
guy's sup.
Dude,
Lol.
This HR is getting a visit after today's program. Like, that is not supposed to be on TV right now.
Stick around for this and more of this, people. Play NFL Knockout, the free-to-play game presented by Caesars Sportsbook. Answer 15 questions about the Packers-Chiefs game to win exclusive prizes, including a VIP package to this year's Super Bowl 56 in Los Angeles. Visit NFL.com/knockout.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds pretty sweet.
Yeah, no, I'll do that.
We live here, and I don't even think we get that. Time to hear from the people. All
right. I'm getting out the horn.
In constructive.
Again, you don't get the horn and you don't get the nose
no horn
unless
for you.
You deserve it. And Rachel, I have to say, not letting Jets fans enjoy themselves, one win, you got to wear it.
This is an honor.
Let's see what else we got.
Okay, Danny Boy has the Rams behind the Bucs, a team they beat handedly week 3. LA's only loss was to the team ranked number 3 in this week's rankings. It makes no sense. Time to wear the clown nose, bud.
Hashtag Tugboat is losing steam. Jason Kleiman, that name's familiar. Listen, I told you I was going to upset Rams fans this week, but you can make the move up. You will. I believe you will, but not yet. And you got to earn it. And I don't like the tone of this Jason Kleinman, so he gets the nose.
Oh, I thought it was kind of nice that he threw in a bud there. I thought
He gets it. Rams fans, I get it. Let's see what Von Miller does there.
Ooh, Dallas fans getting altitude sickness.
Okay, so
They're so high.
All right. I don't know what have you seen from the Dallas Cowboys, Mr. O'Brien, that tells you that they don't deserve to be high up. You don't get the nose because I respect your opinion on this, but like the Cowboys have done everything right this season. They even beat the Bucs almost on week 1, and let's give them some love.
Okay.
Winning without Dak on the road in primetime against a good Minnesota team.
Super rush, buy-in. All right, this is the last one. Let's make it a doozy. This is a clown list.
It's a clown list. It's always easy. Everybody thinks, listen, Rachel, everybody thinks it's champagne and jet skis and mansions and girls and rock and roll music.
Who has said this?
And that's just not what the power rankings is. It's a responsibility.
Oh, wow.
That I mentioned jet skis.
Yeah. That horn is a heavy horn that you carry every week.
Yes, it rests upon my shoulders and weighs me down.
All right. Dan, you've taken enough punishment. It is my turn in random rancor.
Ah, yes.
Listen to Von Miller yesterday. Okay, we're going to start things off right.
You know, every news playing pro sports here with the Denver Broncos. I've been here through the ups and the downs. And, you know, it's always tough whenever you leave, though. But I love all my fans. I love Broncos country. When I say Broncos for life, I meant that, and it'll always be on my heart.
Okay, this is an earnest take. I'm going to break down my top 5 trade reactions, and I'm putting Von Miller at 5 because he's crying, he's emotional, and he knows he's going to a sweet spot.
Yeah.
That's a tough thing to balance.
The Broncos did him a solid. He's 32 years old.
Yeah.
And he gets a chance to go after one more ring. He had a really special run with the Broncos, including a Super Bowl that I'll never forget, 50.
I love it. Avery Williamson, we have
that was
getting
fun.
traded out of New York. Vontae Davis, he wanted to call his grandmother.
Yeah, that was sad.
The second that he found out he was going to the Colts.
That was on Hard Knocks. I think the GM was either Philbin, the coach, or the GM, and he said, I want to call my grandma, and the coach or the guy was just like, wait, what?
You can wait.
All right.
I think it came out that his grandma's like a huge Colts fan, though, so that's really lovely.
Good.
Bill Belichick getting traded to the Patriots. Bill Parcells wrote a little letter to Robert Kraft. I think that's actually kind of a cool story. Yeah. We were talking, this needs to be a 30 for 30 or something.
It has to be, or more appropriately, an NFL Network branded documentary program. But
Should we EP that?
Let's do it.
Producers,
if we get a cut
on the
of it. The Belichick-Parcells relationship is incredible and detailed, and two of the most important figures of the last 50 years in the NFL.
Absolutely. And then my number one. This is my favorite story. Rob Gronkowski found out, I think in 2018, that he was going to get traded to the Detroit Lions and said, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm retiring. And they just left him alone. And he got to stay on the Patriots. Nobody knew that story. And then he told it, I think, live on the Fox NFL Sunday show.
Yeah, I see where he was going on that one. I think Gronk, for a guy that you don't think is, a genius, think how he played his career.
Low-key.
He was beat up. He said, I'm going to step away. I'm going to make a ton of money doing commercials and TV. Then I'm going to come back when Tom goes to a new city where it's fun to play football. I'm going to win a ring. I hope he's okay. He's got a bad back again, and we hope to get Gronk back on the field.
I wanted to see him back there. How did I do? My first top 5.
I thought it was tremendous.
Thank you.
I think everything you got on that list, I think you're pretty good at this. Money's in trouble. That's the only thing I'll say right now.
Money, come back soon. This is a hard show. Next on Power Rankings, we're closing up shop with some challenge flags. Who are we fired up about in Week 9? Find out after this.
Oh, yeah.
Honk, honk. All right. Huge
George.
power ranking matchups. Browns at Bengals. I'm nervous about it. Okay.
Don't be
Back.
nervous. It's just a football game. It doesn't change your life ultimately.
Number 19 versus number 7. Vikings at Ravens.
The Vikings driving me crazy this year. Come on, pull it together.
Figure it out. Number 1 versus number 13. This should be a really good game.
I hope so, but I don't trust Patrick Mahomes in this offense. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's a real gut check for them. Maybe they raise their play against a big-time opponent.
Feels like that kind of situation. And then number 9 versus number 6. Titans. Rams. Okay, it is time to throw our challenge flags.
All right, should I go first?
You can go first.
I'll go first.
Your show.
I will throw the flag.
Whoa!
At Matt Nagy.
That's so mean.
Unleash Justin Fields. Listen, you were on the COVID-19 list and weren't at the game, but I know you watched it and you saw, look at this play, 22 yards, beautiful.
Yes.
You saw how loose he looked. Justin Fields looked comfortable. I'm not saying what you do is wrong, Matt Nagy, because I think maybe it gets a little tiresome how much you get bagged on right now, but whatever was happening in that game, let Justin Fields play. Let him be loose. How about you, Rachel?
Is this my camera?
That's you. Whoa, you almost hit me.
Well, I'm unleashing my fury on
It's going so
Dan
well.
Campbell. Stop bumming everybody out in your
Oh.
press conferences, dude. You're crying. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Love a man that shows emotion.
Yeah.
This week you're like, this team is bad. You straight up said, this team's bad.
Yeah. Well, they are. Well, he's
but you don't
being
have to be honest about
He
it.
asks
It's
for
on
honesty,
it.
and then you're honest, and you get killed.
No. Thank you all for watching. Shout out Money. Get well.
Get well soon, buddy. See ya.